Hey everyone, welcome back to Local Living. I'm Anna Christina and I'm joined by Hawthorne Welcher Jr. He's the Director of Augusta's Housing and Community Development. You guys do so much within the community. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing to help revitalize the community. But I want to talk about something specific because April is Financial Literacy Month. Tell me about the importance of that.
Well, let me just say first of all, thank you for having us once again. And I am, of course, Director for City of Augusta's Housing and Community Development Department. And anytime I stand before any audience, we always want to sort of give homage to our mayor, to our commission, as well as to our administration.
Absolutely.
And then the second thing we want to do is we want to be sure that regardless of what initiative or concept we talk about, we also want to be sure that Augusta, Georgia, and the citizens beyond understand what our mission is, and that mission is to create positive change by promoting self-sufficiency, really in three key areas. We talk about quality housing, we talk about neighborhood reinvestment, we talk about economic development, and we're going to touch on that today when we talk about financial literacy. Just so excited to talk about
it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Just so excited.
Well, tell me, break it down for people if they're not familiar with what that means. What does it mean and why is it important?
I will just be real layman with it and just give you a simple response.
Absolutely.
Financial literacy, to me, the way I define it, is just making smart financial decisions. And when you talk about that, you look at various key components. One of those components is being able to budget wisely.
Right.
Also, are you a savvy saver? Those type things are very important. But I think two other key aspects are also understanding the ability of how interest works.
Yes.
What is compounding interest in those things. And I think last but definitely not least is understanding your credit and income ratio, and how they maneuver, and how they impact you.
And these are such important things that affect every aspect really of our life. And so having the basic knowledge too to maneuver through that is so important to success.
It is. When we look at it, anybody that housing and community development touch, we want to be sure that we're looking at it from a holistic perspective. We're not in the business of just promoting home ownership alone, but we are in the business of transforming neighborhoods truly back into thriving communities. So when you look at those things and you talk about financial literacy, it not only touches persons from an ownership perspective, but it touches the commercial development, retail development, keeping the small business at the core, which we've talked about before, and also it talks about job creation and developing our workforce.
And knowledge is power.
It is. It is. And we're doing here today, we're standing in the center in the Beasley Room here at the Augusta-Richmond County Municipal building here, having a lunch and learn with Synovus Mortgage. So we just have great partners who are allowing us to be able to sort of impact and carry out our mission.
Right. And how does financial literacy play a role in the department's impact on the community?
Because it speaks to being for us to be able to provide support service wraparound model. That's the whole thing that we talked about. We've been providing down payment, closing costs, and filling gaps and buying down interest rate. We've done that for 20 years.
Yes.
But that's not really what it's all about at the end of the day. That's just a component of it. So the ability to be able to have mortgage partners, to be able to have development partners, to have nonprofit partners, for us to be able to and be in positions to be able to once again transform neighborhoods back into thriving communities. We're built on the mindset of we may not be able to save quarters of Augusta-Richmond County, but we can create these thriving mid-towns that bleed into.
Well, and education is key as well. We talk about knowledge is power, educating our community so that we can continue to thrive as a whole and as a team. So we thank you for what you do at the Housing and Community Development. Anything to look forward to?
Definitely. We definitely have some events coming forth, and financial literacy, the month that kicks off is April, but we definitely have some events coming up. We want to be able to promote some of those events.
Absolutely.
And we have one that's coming up very soon.
Well, good. If you need more information about those events, you can go to the website on the screen. Thank you, Hawthorne, so much for being with us.
Thank you once again.
Absolutely.